I'm about to whip somebody's arm.
Now, from the Autoglass America studios, it's the Mike Calta After Show.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
What's going on? This is Happy Hoppe filling in on the Mike Calta After Show in for Carmen, who is on vacation in Mexico. And I'm going to get right into it. Last week, I had a man-to-man talk with John Brennan in his office. It went very well. And he came up with an idea for me that I thought was very good. So I did it. And he said that when I do the after show, or if I do a fill-in show, that I should have a poll. And I should get the results and then talk about it later on in the week. So last week, the poll would have been, hey, do you think Will Smith should have punched Chris Rock? This week, it's one that's not very relevant when it comes to like anything going on in the news, but I think it's relevant when it goes to everybody's life. And I put it up at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you got 1 hour left to vote for it. And to me, it also represents just my life, 50% yes, 50% no. The poll at Ryan Hoppe Radio says, do you have a social media addiction? And 50% said yes, and 50% said no. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are checking your phone and you are checking your social media over and over again, you are addicted to it. Now, you might not view the addiction as equivalent as, like, let's say booze or alcohol or sex. But if you have to look at it all day long, you are addicted. For example, let me explain my addiction, because I am sincerely addicted to it. Back, I think it was October 2nd, my girlfriend's mom came over, and it was during like Halloween. So we went to go look at pumpkins, and then we went to Hooters for lunch, which was a great day. And I remember I was at Hooters and I wanted to take a picture of my chicken wings that I bought, and Facebook was down. And that was the day that Facebook was down for like 9 hours. And it was like I had this epiphany that I was letting social media run my life, because the life that you see right in front of you with your open eyes and what you smell and what you're doing, that's your real life. Social media is not real life. So I want to hear from the neighbors out there. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. And then at the end of the show, I will check in with the poll. So here are signs that you are addicted to social media. And if you have any tips out there, for me, when I'm watching a show like Power or I'm watching a show like Ozark, I will just put my phone in the other room and I try to limit my screen time to just 4 hours a day. Because I swear, my anxiety and my mindset on life, I can be grumpy as hell. Like, there's times, and I know you guys out there listening do this, you don't even realize what you're doing. You're not in the moment. And I've been reading this book by Darren Hardy, who created Success Magazine, and he said that you go through life just making decisions, having no idea that you're actually doing it because you're sleepwalking through life. So in his book, The Compound Effect, it says that every single decision that you do, every single choice that you do leads up to your current moment. So if you text and drive and then you get into a car crash, all of a sudden you're going to have to deal with the insurance company. You're going to have to deal with this and that. Or if you just would have put your phone down, you would have gone home and had a great dinner. Or knocking up a girl if you wore a condom or did different methods. So every single decision you do leads up. So for me, if I'm on my phone all day, it makes me grumpy. It makes me irritable. I'm a complete douchebag for no reason to my girlfriend. And then I come in the next morning with a rotten attitude to the Mike Calta show, which I've done in the past, like last Friday. And literally, all you have to do is make sure that each decision is correct and you are good. So I didn't look at my phone all last night. I watched NBA. I cuddled with my girlfriend, quote unquote cuddle. We hung out. I went to bed meditating, and I was in a better mood today, and the show went well. So 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Sign number 1. You check your mobile phone every few minutes for any notification on Facebook, Twitter, and such. And the scariest thing is, now that I'm watching more TV, trying to be in the moment, I want to post about what I'm watching, and then I'm literally taking my mind off of what I'm into. Because honestly, none of you out there that follow at Ryan Hoppe Radio care that I'm watching Power or care that I have an opinion on the NBA. What? It's going to get read on whose tweet is it anyway? That's the only reach it has. Nobody cares that I think that Trae Young is a good basketball player for the Atlanta Hawks. When you keep your fandom to yourself and you don't share it with other people when it's not necessary, you actually end up being a fan of what you're watching more. Because then, let's say this. I post, I'm watching Power, and somebody goes, that show sucks. You have a bad taste in entertainment. And then all of a sudden, you're not going to enjoy it as much because you're self-conscious. There's things in life that you need to keep to yourself. And the more you do that, and the more anonymous you are on social media and the less you post, the more people will want to hang with you. Remember Foursquare 10 years ago when you would let everybody know where you were going? You're I just went to Jimmy John's. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing that. Now everybody wants to be quiet. And do you notice when you're quiet that things go better? 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Sign number 2. You think your world is over when you have no internet access or when Twitter, Facebook, and other social media is down. I have this weird paranoia when social media is down. Not that I think that people are going to be oh my God, I need to see Ryan Hoppe's post. But I really need to back up everything that I've put on my Facebook over the last 10 years. It's like a photo album mixed with me promoting my podcast. And if my account were to get shut down, I would lose pictures that would never be back again. I wish there was a feature, when you download a zip file and then you export it and then all of a sudden you have all the files from something. I wish you could do that with Facebook, because then all of a sudden you wouldn't have to worry if it were to come crashing down. But honestly, not having access to Twitter is fine. I love Twitter. I've had my account for 12 years, and it's not even the negativity that gets to me. It's more you post something and you're who cares? Do you care? No. I mean, you're following me and I'm grateful for that, but I'm just thinking in layman's terms, I'm thinking why would you care that I'm watching the show? Or why would you care that I have a hot girlfriend? Let's see what this call is from. It's from the 813. Hi, you're on the air.
What's going on, Hoppe? It's Eric.
What up?
Hey, man, I just wanted to say I'm on your side here, brother. I actually haven't looked at any social media, no Instagram, no Facebook, no nothing for over 2 months now. And it's actually changed everything, dude. It really does.
And what'd you say your name was again?
Eric.
Now, Eric, I want to ask you this. Do you have those moments, though, where you're thinking about how nobody's checking it and they're missing you? Or have you been able to train your brain completely to not miss it? Because that's what I need help from you, man, is how do you make sure that when you're not on it, that you're not thinking about it? Because if you're thinking about it but you're not on it, you're essentially on social media in a weird way.
Right, and it does take a little bit to actually not think about it because, of course, you see something cool, you want to take a picture of it, you want to show it to everybody. Or, you're doing something cool and, you want to tell everybody about it. I've been to Lightning games, I've been to the Reggae Rise Up, I did all that stuff. I got pictures and videos of all of it, but I haven't showed it to no one, man. I haven't uploaded it to nothing. And, it just changes your outlook on everything, man. It makes you realize, what is actually important. And like you said, man, people don't care that you're here or there. And, you do have to get through the FOMO, the fear of missing out. What are you missing out on here or there? But, it really does change everything, man. It puts a little pep in your step, and it puts things in line for you of what's really important.
So what did you do for those 2 months? Is this a thing that's going on now, or did it end?
Oh, no, I'm still not on it, man. I haven't been on Facebook in a long, long, long time. And man, I can't really explain how I got over it. I just kind of kept my mind off of it. I'm reading books more. I'm reading, Tony Robbins books and books on the law of attraction and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually into a lot of the same things you're in, man. We're on like the exact same wavelength right now. But yeah, I kept my mind busy that way, and then it just kind of phased out. Now I don't care who's on Facebook or Instagram. I don't care who's looking at my pictures, whatever.
And for me, if it's the audiobooks I listen to, if it's The Law of Attraction with The Secret or Byron Katie or Darren Hardy or Gary Vee or Tony Robbins, Spanish said it best to me at Dude Night like 4 months ago. He's like, it's bad when it becomes cultish, where everybody bows down to them. Because I asked Spanish what he thought of Gary Vee and them, and he said it just bothers him when it becomes kind of a cult. And that's what you really got to be careful of, Eric. And I'm not saying this to you, I'm saying this to everybody, that when you begin to bow down to these people and you think their opinions is like God, that's when it's like, okay, you should take about 70% of what's in the self-help books, but use the other 30%, maybe even 50-50, and form your own opinion. When you begin to rely on them, that's when you're not making choices for yourself. You're making choices because you want to be as successful as the author.
That's exactly right, man. And the best tip is just like you said earlier, to be mindful, man. Be in the present, because when you're depressed, you're too focused on the past. When you're anxious, you're too focused on the future. And neither one of those are real. Neither one of those actually exist. The only thing that's real is right here, right now, in this moment. And that's best to just be mindful of that and to stop worrying about the past or the future and just, be here.
Every time I've been certain about what was going to happen in my future, there's times I kind of make a guess and I'm usually right, kind of. But every time, bro, I've said that I was certain about something that was going to happen, it never happened. Every time I went, oh, they're going to be mad at me or this is going to explode or whatever, nothing has ever happened. So it pretty much tells you that you have to be in the present. Now, my man, before I let you go, do you have any fun plans today?
No, I'm actually just working today, man. I'm actually on my way to Clearwater Beach to fix somebody's air conditioner.
Well, my man, I appreciate you listening. I love all Bone listeners, but my favorite ones are the ones that are driving around all day. And the fact that you called in and I entertained you, it means a lot. So thank you, Eric.
Not a problem, man. Like I said, I think me and you would hang out and be pretty good couple.
Hell yeah, bro.
Have a good day, brother.
You too. Message me on social media. I'm available at all times, usually.
I'm not on social media anymore.
Oh, that's right. Sorry about that. Thank you, sir. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. See, Eric's more present than me. He just told me for 5 minutes why social media is bad, and then my social media addiction was like, no, can we be friends on there? And it's just, I got to work on my listening. I will listen to this call from the 813. Hi, you're on the air.
What's up, Hoppy? It's Joe. How you doing, man?
What's happening, brah?
Not a whole lot. I just I wanted to give you a call and give you some advice as far as like how to kind of keep social media out of your mind if you are trying to back off of it. I'm like in kind of the same boat as Eric. I am back on social media, but I've severely started to like monitor what I do there, just because, like you said, you see one notification or whatever, you flip your phone open, boom, and then all of a sudden you're in the rat hole and you're going to be there for longer than just what it takes you to view what happened. So I've turned off my notifications for Facebook, not Twitter, just because I don't get that many notifications there anyway, but Facebook and Instagram, I just turned my notifications off, man, because if you have noticed, the whole Facebook algorithm is designed to keep you engaged. And if they notice that you're not logged on, they're going to send you a notification just so you get that little red blip on your phone, and it makes you want to open it. And then you open it, and what do you realize? It says, oh, blah, 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 posted a picture. Okay, that doesn't have anything to do with you. You know what I mean?
And the thing, too, is it's like taking a 5-hour energy shot. It's just immediate energy, it's immediate endorphins, but then it goes away after 5 minutes. And to me, I get the same rush of a positive social media response when I go to the gym. The only difference is that's actually positive endorphins, and then the other part is you're working on your body and you're not like laying on the couch looking at social media. Like, I think
agree with you. It's like a release of serotonin.
Yes, I think, bro, every single person person should go to the gym. Now, if you're going to do deadlifts or if you're just going to do the treadmill for 5 minutes, there's something about getting out of your house. Because, like, I'm very fortunate. I have a home gym at my apartment near the front office, and I don't like going there because I'm just walking across the parking lot, and then it's like I'm at home. But something about putting your clothes in your bag and then going to the gym and driving there, it's like it makes you feel productive. You know what I mean?
It's therapeutic, man. I can definitely agree with that. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. That's just some food for thought if you are thinking about trying to get off social a little bit. Just turn those notifications off, and it'll be out of sight, out of mind, brother. All right?
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. From the 727, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hell yeah, it's Fritz. My man.
Well, I heard you, and I had to call in and give you some props, bro.
I love some props, but a lot of people that are indifferent about me or just listening have heard the same ass kissing over and over. So what do you have to say about the topic that social media and everything's running the world? Because I'm pretty sure, because I know you are going blind, and I'm pretty sure when you send me those delightful Facebook messages that's from somebody else. Am I correct?
Well, I do have my sister run my stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but I tell her what to say.
Well, you're a very nice guy because the messages you have sent me have been very nice. But what I want to ask you is there a part of you that wishes you could post, or do you kind of feel, I don't want to say fortunate about your situation, but do you feel kind of like, oh, well, that puts less pressure that I really can't post on my own, so you're more in the moment, drinking beer, listening to The Bone?
Well, no, man. If I could do it myself, dude, it'd be scathing.
What would you post?
You know?
What would be in the mind of Fritz? What would be what would get you canceled? What would get you in trouble? Or would you post motivation?
Oh, motivation, of course.
Motivate me. I'm very tired right now. I've been up since 4:50. I love my life. The morning show went good today. So give me some motivation. I need to be motivated.
Because you're starting to achieve your dream, and you sound very good on the radio.
Thank you.
So, I mean, just keep going, dude. I mean, you're fine. You're fine. A lot of people like you, bro.
I appreciate that. You know what I think you should do? And I am being incredibly sincere when I say this. You should do audiobooks about like the law of attraction or being positive or something, because that just made me feel good, and you have a good voice. So I think you take back 4 to 7 beers and then just record something and post it. And I can even help you make it a podcast and be like life advice from Fritz.
It's funny too, because I hear myself on replays, and to me I sound totally annoying. But people tell me I got a good voice. I don't know.
That's the thing. The happiest people that give out the nicest compliments never do it for themselves. So you just said the nicest things to me in front of millions of people that are listening to The Bone. Why don't you say that about yourself? Why don't you say Fritz is great, Fritz is a funny guy, and he has good taste in beer, I think. Why don't you talk good about yourself? If you're going to talk good about the shows on The Bone and me, talk good about yourself, man. Love yourself.
Well, hey, I sure appreciate the sentiment.
Yes, sir.
And I always love hearing you on the radio, dude. I mean, you've come a long way.
You've
come a long way.
You should be my agent.
Your mentor.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you for the call. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. We're going to go to a break real quick, but let me get to the one last call, because I appreciate the listeners that wait on hold. It's a real art to be patient, because I don't have patience, but I like to go to them before the break. So this is from the 813. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, man, I'd just like to comment about the social media stuff.
What's happening?
Tom? Nothing. I mean, I kind of at a young age realized what those apps were doing to me, and I kind of got off them, I would say in middle school. I'm 27 now, so, I mean, I did grow up with them in the era of social media, and I feel good about myself personally. But I know a lot of my friends, haven't or can't get off apps, and these phones are smarter than us. They're more intellectual. They are able to control our emotions a little better than we are, and make us feel things that we wouldn't necessarily feel on a day-to-day basis. So I think, it's just important for us to organically go find those in our real life and not just look into this black box for feeling, these emotions that they're pushing on us, because it's choreographed. It's choreographed. It's all choreographed.
And your call just made me think of a greater point is I think what made social media cool 15 years ago, MySpace or the other ones I never used, LiveJournal and all that. I was too young for that, but I had a MySpace and I had a Facebook since 2007. And I think what made it fun was you could only use it if you were at home on a computer. Like there was never AIM, like the messenger, that was never on a phone. It was only on a computer. And there was something kind of nice about going home and listening to LimeWire and listening to a song that took 4 hours to download and messaging your friends. And you had to wait to go home to see what was there. I think the fact that you can see it immediately and that we're just addicted to it, I think that's what's hurting our brain.
Yeah, everything's on demand now. You don't have to work for nothing. It's just given to you on a silver platter. And I think that's bad for our culture as a whole. But that's my 2 cents. I appreciate it. I'm just going to listen in, man.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. More votes have come in on my Twitter account at Ryan Hoppe Radio about this topic. Do you have a social media addiction? And now it's 55% no and 45% yes. So that's very good to hear. We will be right back on Happy Hour, filling in for Carmen, who is having a very well-deserved vacation in Mexico. We will be right back after this on Happy Hour.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
It's the Mike Calta After Show on 102.5 The Bone. Now, back to the Mike Calta After Show.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
See, y'all wanna dance? Yeah. 'Cause I'ma make you dance. All I want is for you to use your imagination. That's all. What makes us do?
Welcome back to the Mike Calta After Show with Happy Hour filling in. I am your host, Happy Hoppe. Call the show at 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. You can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. And as a quick reminder, you can listen to News with Galvin from today on the 102.5 The Bone app, which you can get in the Google Play and iOS shop by searching up 102.5 The Bone. And up next is Roger and JP. Then it's Drew Garabo Live, A Cat Named Mo, and then Johnny B. And if you miss any of those shows, you can always listen on demand by getting the Bone app. So for all the info, once again, it's at theboneonline.com. I saw this headline here, and I don't know. I'm just a very former Roman Catholic kid where I never liked getting in trouble because my dad, who would have been 59 this week, so happy birthday, Dad, he would just come down on me very hard if I came home allegedly with my breath reeking of vodka, or if I was up too late, or one time he threw out Jersey Shore season 1. Like, he was very much like a hard ass. He was just Roman Catholic. So I never really got into the idea of being a criminal because I just didn't want to get in trouble with my dad. So when I see headlines like this, it fascinates me because it's like, what's different from my upbringing to another person's upbringing that would make them a criminal? Do you ever think about that? The fact that you don't choose to be on this planet, and two people, however you are created, if it's in a laboratory or very generic intercourse, that you had no choice to be here and you didn't choose who your parents are. So, like, you could be born and be in a wheelchair, or you could be born a billionaire. It's very bizarre. So when I see this here, I go, man, I cannot relate to this. It says, big bust, and this is from TMZ.com. 2 men nabbed with enough fentanyl to kill 4.7 million people. And if you guys want to call in, you have any comments, 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. I just wonder, when you're committing crimes like that, and like, I'm not defending like an everyday average Joe drug dealer, but some might just be doing it to get by. But man, if you are looking at your warehouse or wherever you are keeping your fentanyl to kill 4.7 million people, like, at some point, you know you're going to get caught. And I don't know if that's just from an upbringing of not caring and not knowing where you're going with your life, but you would have to look at the product every single day. And I say product like I know about it, and just go, I'm going to get caught someday. And it's funny. I am really into crime shows. So I'm watching the Power universe. I'm on the third one, Raising Kanan, which is loosely based off of 50 Cent's life. I love The Wire, Sons of Anarchy, Sopranos. For some reason, I love crime shows. I don't like fantasy. I don't like sci-fi very much, but I love a good show about a gang. And what's funny is all these guys don't care. Like, they have either bad upbringings or they just don't care. And then they end up getting caught in the end. And it's just fascinating because when I watch these shows, I begin to think it's real life. And then I'll be driving to the gym and I'm like, oh, I got to make sure that I don't have the product in the car. Then I'm like, shut up, Happy Hoppy. You are a 6'8" goofball that's going to the gym to get into shape. You don't have anything in your car. 727-579-1025, 1-800-771-1025. Police took in 36-year-old Edgar Alfonso Lamas and 53-year-old Carlos, and I'm not going to even try to say the last name, after authorities found 821 pounds of meth, nearly 190 pounds of cocaine, and 20 pounds of fentanyl pills. And what's crazy to think is, like, 190 pounds is essentially how much I can bench press if I have a spotter, if I'm working out with my trainer. If I'm working out by myself, I don't do that because I don't want to hurt myself. But it's crazy to think that how much weight you can lift, that's how much they had with cocaine. As little as 2 milligrams of fentanyl is a lethal dose. The Orange County DA previously warned it would be cracking down on drug dealers, even saying murder charges would be on the table on cases involving drugs like fentanyl that all too often result in a person's death. And I mean, I don't know, like, I watch these crime shows and I read these articles and I'm completely fine with my boring life with my girlfriend and my 2 cats. And she's probably listening and going, how is her life boring? But it's so nice to just have this radio job, go to the gym. I love relaxing. It's probably because of my anxiety, but I love just sitting back and relaxing. And I can't imagine living a life where you always have to look over your shoulder and you always have to just wonder if that's going to be your last day, which I'm not saying drug dealers die and I'm not going to die, because we're all going to die. So in a way, you are always kind of looking over your back to make sure that the Grim Reaper doesn't come. But at the same time, they usually die in their 40s. I want to die when I'm 100 because I have an ego. Hi, you're on the air. Hello, sir. You are on 102.5 The Bone, Real Raw Radio. What's your name?
Jack.
What's happening, Jack?
Yeah, I got something to say about the fentanyl.
What's happening?
Anybody who deals in that, they should be locked up for a very long time, if not for life.
I agree, but I think what happens is a lot of times they have a lot of, this is what I've picked up on the crime shows. Now, I know crime shows aren't in real life, but from what I've picked up is a lot of them have money because they've been dealing drugs. So a lot of times they can get elite lawyers that help them get away with it. But I don't know if that's real life.
Yeah, it could be. Just a few weeks ago, it was 3 weeks ago, I lost my granddaughter to fentanyl.
I'm so sorry, sir. Yeah, I know it's a very big epidemic. And how have you been coping?
It's been hard. She had a 4-year-old son, and now he's without his mother.
I'm sorry, my man.
It's just been hard, and you know, and then people think, and it's not just the dealers too. the addicts, I mean, addiction is a disease. It is. And I
Yes,
feel
sir.
for addicts. I do. But I want addicts to know that, you know, their body is not an experiment. And when they go to looking for that next high, like in fentanyl or something, they're really, really playing with fire, and it's just not worth it. You know, if they want to smoke some weed or whatever, that's fine, but, you know, stay away from that stuff. I mean, it's not just for, you know, you're going to kill yourself and you're going to really hurt your family.
Well, my man, thank you for the call. And I'm going to give out this number. I just Googled fentanyl addiction hotline. If you are listening out there and you have an addiction, call 888-217-1962. That's 888-217-1962. And that is the fentanyl hotline. And you can always Google for help. Because, man, like, I did this thing recently that's very morbid, and it gives me pure anxiety. But I downloaded this app called We Croak, and the logo is a frog, and it tells you 5 times a day, you are going to die, and then you click on it, and it's got some deep quote about death. And that is probably the most frightening topic, and I know people listening right now don't want to hear about that, but we don't want to hear about it because we're in denial about it. So while you're on this planet, why not make the most of it? And while we are on this planet in our short lifetime, I will take this call, which I've never heard of this area code. It's the A14. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? This is Mike, and that's Central Pennsylvania is the 814 area.
Nice. What's happening?
Not much, man. Coming from a perspective of a recovering heroin addict, you know, I do feel that these crimes should be punished, especially with the fentanyl. However, it has to be a case-by-case basis, though, man, because, like, not a lot of people go out there saying, hey, you know, I always went looking for the stuff. You know what I mean? Nobody ever came knocking on my door saying, here, buy this fentanyl or buy this heroin.
What was the, I don't want to say breaking point, but what was the moment when you actually said, I want to get help?
Whenever my back was against the wall, my family had turned their back on me, my kids didn't want nothing to do with me. I had no friends, no couches left to surf. Rehabs were closing their doors on me, and, you know, I went to a free program and did it that way.
I'm sure there's listeners out there that may have an addiction, and I'm very sorry they're going through it, that are going, oh, I don't have a problem, or they're in denial, or they're getting annoyed because they're hearing you talk about what they're going through right now. So to the people out there, explain to them why they should get help and what the best way to is.
When you have a problem and you can finally admit it, that's, you know, you have to get help because you can't change anything if you don't actually make some positive change. The best way to get help is to open up your mouth and ask for it. You know, whether you go to a hospital, a police station, crisis hotline, an AA meeting, an NA meeting, thousands of places out there where you can just go and ask for help, and it's right there. And there are hundreds and hundreds of people right in our area, probably within spitting distance of where you're at right now, that will happily reach their hands out and pick you up and help you save your life.
Well, my man, thank you for the call. And let's lighten up the mood real quick. How do you think the Rays will do this season? Do you watch baseball?
I'm not the hugest baseball fan, but I am a perpetual optimist. I think the Rays are going to smash it.
Now, I want to ask you, too, real quick. I see this headline here from Fox 13 News. What do you think of this? The Atlanta Braves, they just won the World Series, so all 10 Braves fans care in Atlanta. They're selling a burger for $151, and it's not even big. How ridiculous do you find that?
I think that burger better give me a happy ending if I'm paying $150 for it.
Hell yeah, bro. And we'll end it on that call. Thank you. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. I love when baseball is like, why can't we get the everyday common man to care more about the sport in 2022? And then in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of everything, when people are barely having enough money to drive to a game, they're like, we're going to make the price of a gas tank for some people be a burger. Keep doing you, baseball. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Harvey? This is Jeff.
What's happening, Jeff? I like your vibe. What's going on?
Hey, nothing much, man. Hey, I just wanted to say, well, first off, baseball is super boring. I mean, I think everyone knows that. I don't know back in the day, Baseball 2020 used to be on Super Nintendo and Sega.
Yeah.
The way they did it with different circle zones and everything, you catch it, it'd be 2 outs versus, maybe that's what they need to do. But anyway, I wanted to get back to that last caller's response.
Yeah, what's up?
Unfortunately, he lost, his daughter/niece, whatever. But, it's the problem is when everyone abuses the drugs and then the doctors don't give them to them, then the only choice they have is to go to the streets and try to find this stuff. Then that's where it gets, if they're buying pills or if they're buying heroin or if they're buying even cocaine, they're getting to that point, though, to where they don't know where it's coming from, what it's laced with, and that fentanyl is definitely very deadly.
Yeah, I mean, because
I just wanted to throw that out there.
Because, when you're getting, and I'm not comparing medical weed to fentanyl, but at least if you're going to True Leave or whatever, that's been regulated and it's also weed. But I can imagine if you're doing fentanyl, you don't know if it's laced with rat poison or whatever. That's the frightening part.
No. Also, Hoppy, when you guys went on your cruise, did you guys happen to find any pharmacies down there where you went?
Yeah, we did. It was funny. It was Klonopin, Viagra.
You could do whatever you wanted, right? Right. It's crazy that people would go there and allegedly it was exactly what you're trying to get. If it's, any kind of codeine or whatever it is you're trying to get, the Viagra. When I took a vacation, I seen a guy go over there and spend almost $1,000 and bought over $600 worth of Viagra. And then he said he would take it just straight up, back to the U.S.
I'm sure he had a hard time that night. That was dumb. Thank you for the call, my man.
Smoke weed every day.
And that's how we're going to end this show. Thank you for listening to Hoppy Hour, filling in for the Mike Calta After Show as Carmen is on a very well-deserved vacation in Mexico. And up next is Roger and JP. Then it's Drew Garabo live. Then it's a cat named Mo. Then it's Johnny B. And let me tell you, if you want to hear more of my rambling after you're done listening to The Bone, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, essentially all the platforms, all you got to do is search up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio, and add me on social media at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And final results from the poll about social media addiction from the first segment. 57.9% of people said that they don't have a social media addiction, and 42.1% said they do. And I want to thank John Brennan, the program director and an awesome boss from 102.5 The Bone, for that idea, and I definitely will be doing polls. This has been Hoppy Hour, filling in for the after show. Up next is Roger and JP. Goodbye now.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
It's the Mike Calta After Show on 102.5 The Bone.